to Europe. Everybody, including our crew here, are in celebratory mode after Arsenal sealed their first league in 22 years. The leagues in Europe have all been now, the champions have been crowned. The others less surprising than Arsenal, because Inter Milan and PSG and Bayern Munich and Barcelona winning the titles in the top 5 was not a surprise. Only England provided the surprise. That surprise for everybody else in the world except Mark to Mark, because you and I, before a ball was kicked, called it on this very set in the studio last August and said Arsenal would win the league.
Yeah, we fancied Arsenal at the beginning of the season, and we gave our reasons.
We gave our reasons, and we need to blow our trumpet over that, because I don't think there's any show anywhere in the world where they stood, because I watched the ones in England and the ones in South Africa.
None of them gave us
nobody could dare. They couldn't even dare. And somehow the two of us thought, I mean, Mark to Mark is a prophetic show, if you like. So this is the place to be. But never mind.
We're the football prophets.
But never mind. Arsenal are trying to go even one better. But if the Premier League has been elusive, the Champions League has been even more, because they've never touched that ever. At least the other one was in 2004, but this one they've never touched. And now they've got the opportunity for the first time in 20 years to actually pip it over 90 minutes in a one-off game against, unfortunately for them, the defending champions PSG.
I mean, they've given themselves a very good chance, Arsenal. They've, first and foremost, to get to where they are, Arsenal, they were unbeaten. They won all their games in the group stages.
Yes, they did.
And because they were in the group stages, they had a very, very relatively softer route to get to the final. So they were rewarded for winning all their group games.
Yes.
Because they took care of,
they had to play Leverkusen, Sporting, and Atletico Madrid. Relatively easier path than what Bayern had to go through to get to the final.
So, I mean, Arsenal are getting...
No, rather not Bayern. What PSG had to go through to get to the final.
So Arsenal were rewarded.
Or what a Bayern or Man City or Madrid suffered.
For having taken care of the business in the group stages. Secondly, the Arsenal's defense, because the cornerstone of Arsenal's success this season has been the defense. From the ball to the entire backline, it's been tremendous. I don't think there's been a better defense than Saliba and Gabriel. No. So you've got to give them...
And Raya, and David Raya. The three,
That said, Mark, Arsenal have got to be the very best version of themselves to stand a chance against PSG. They've got to play an impeccable final. It's not impossible. I think they've got the tools, they've got the defense, they've got the team, but they've got to play the very best football, which they haven't in the title running. You could talk about nerves, you talk about the pressure which was exerted on them by Man City down the stretch. So they've looked a bit wobbly in a few games against Newcastle.
Yeah, the running was tough for them. Newcastle, Fulham was a bit easier, but West Ham was tough.
Yeah, West Ham was very, very tough.
So was...
West Ham was very tough. So the thing is, even the game against Everton was very tough.
Yeah, Everton and West Ham were really, really tough games for them,
Now, obviously, they are well rested. It helps that the title, the Premier League was decided a week early, so they could afford to rest, engage in all the celebrations and the festivities of winning the first championship in 20 years. But PSG equally rested, Mark, because they won the league way, way earlier, and some of the players who have been having niggling injuries here and there are back. I fancy PSG in the final. But I'm not discounting Arsenal's chances, but I do fancy PSG.
You fancy PSG,
Because PSG are the better side. Arsenal have the better defense, but I think that's the only thing. They've got the better goalkeeper and the better defense. Everything else, I fancy PSG. I think as in terms of the attack, the plethora of attacking talent, few teams compete with PSG, Mark, in world football. If you talk about Dembele and Kvaratskhelia and Vitinha and João Neves and
Fabian Ruiz,
Nuno Mendes, Hakimi Achraf and Walter Zaire, because the guys were defenders, but they're playing in the other half together with their attackers. Desiree Doué and Bakola and all. So it's going to be a classic final, Mark. I do not see the kind of easy final that PSG had against Inter Milan last year. I think Arsenal are going to give us a very, very good game in the final. But I fancy PSG.
You fancy PSG.
And I'll be very, very surprised. Very, very surprised, Mark, if Arsenal can go on to win a very, very historic League and Cup.
European Cup double. Yeah, it looks unlikely. I'll go against you and say I think Arsenal are going to win that final. Now, again, most of what I say defies logic, because PSG is the stronger side. They're the better team. They're the best team in Europe over 2 years now, and somehow they've mastered the art of playing Champions League football. Whatever happens domestically and all, and whatever happens in the group stages, once the knockouts start like this, because PSG for 2 years running now, to get to a final have had to go through playoffs, because their league stage campaign was not spectacular. Arsenal went unbeaten, PSG was struggling. But once the knockout phases started, PSG switched to another gear, and Chelsea, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, all of them will tell you that these guys are next level. And it's, in fact, even their defense, PSG's defense is
it's not as
it looks
bad.
Poor, but it's just
it's not as
it's
bad
just a
as
deceptive thing, because when
they choose to defend, they can defend.
Like they did against Bayern in the second leg, after they'd conceded 4 goals at home. 4 goals at home.
4 goals at home. Yes.
Yeah. Everybody thought this is too open. Bayern will get will carve them open, and they went there, took a lead and defended it. And Pacho and Marquinhos were outstanding. So was their goalkeeper, who I don't think was even the man they actually brought in to replace Donnarumma, because they had got Xavi from Lille, I think it was. They had brought in a French goalkeeper from Lille, but he has since lost his place. But they defended. They can defend. They showed they can do that. That midfield trio doesn't look like they even have a spoiler or a destroyer or anything, but they work their socks off, Vitinha and Naves and Fabian Ruiz. And you talked about that attack as well. It's just devastating when they're in sync. But I'm just thinking maybe it's just Arsenal's year. Arsenal were in the semi-finals last year, lost to the same PSG. They've been knocking on the door. They've been getting close and dropping out, getting close and dropping out. They really they led the game in the final in 2006 against Barcelona for the longest time.
Yeah, they were undone by a red card.
Red card.
These are the small details, Mark, which I hope that we don't have a red card.
Because it spoils the final.
Arsenal's chance against PSG, Mark, because of the PSG play, is not to concede.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if Arsenal concede first, Mark, PSG can will rip you apart. Because on the break, they are simply the best. The way they find each other in space, their ability to I mean, their pace is first of all unbelievable.
They're very good one-on-one.
But also they one-on-ones. Anybody, I mean, Kvaratskhelia or Due will destroy you on the counter. And Dembele will just kill you off. I mean, as well. So, but Dembele is doubtful. Although he says he'll be fit, Dembele actually had got it was a thigh injury in that second leg against Bayern. And he's doubtful. The most doubtful one though for them is Achraf Hakimi, who also actually got an injury in that Bayern game.
But what does
Dembele was the calf, Achraf Hakimi was the thigh.
Zaire came and played extremely
well at the right back. But they would still miss.
But of course they miss Hakimi, because Hakimi is the best
right back in the world. Absolutely. So if they miss that one, it would be a bit of a miss for us.
Arsenal do also have some, especially in the right full back position. I talk about right full back position because PSG's best player is going to be operating on that side.
Yes, Kvaratskhelia, and yet Arsenal have. I mean, Ben White is out. Definitely out. Julian Timber has not played football for 2 months, but he wants to play the final. And then if both teams guys are not playing, it would be maybe Mosquera. Mosquera is not a natural right back. He has filled in well, but Kvaratskhelia would kill him because he's not a natural there.
And Kvaratskhelia is so good that we all know what he's going to do. I'm sure Arteta knows what he's going to do, but somehow stopping him is a lot easier said than done.
What Arteta will do, I believe, is that he will get help. Whoever plays right back for Arsenal will get help from Declan Rice and from Saka. Saka will be dropping to help. Declan Rice will be cutting across to help. And maybe Saliba, one of the centre backs. Saliba maybe or Gabriel, whichever one of those. But that means that Kvaratskhelia is drawing players out of position.
Out of positions, and that's even more dangerous.
That's when Vitinha and Neves kill you, because if they step into a gap where somebody has gone away and they pick up the ball. they are looking straight into your goal and can pick a pass, on anybody who's rushing. So it becomes difficult. But I'd like Arsenal, if they keep their shape, defend doggedly the way they have been doing, especially Gabriel and Saliba and Raya, and if the fullbacks do their job.
Or if Arsenal take the lead, because PSG will also become
vulnerable. They must take the lead, because Arsenal will not be able to chase from behind and win that game.
Actually, if Arsenal concede, they're going to be killed.
They should work on the assumption that they're going to keep a clean sheet.
Yes.
Either take the lead or take the game into extra time and shoot out.
The longer the game drags at 0-0, you'd fancy Arsenal.
Arsenal, yeah. I think they'll have the better stamina towards the end of the game. Yeah.
But if they concede early, if they concede before PSG, it's going to be a lot harder for them.
Yeah, and Arteta has some selection dilemmas there as well, by the way, because in midfield, what has happened is that the last quarter of the season, Zubimendi went tired, and Arteta turned to Lewis Kelly.
Yes.
And Lewis Kelly has done a great job in there.
It's been fantastic.
But I have a feeling that Lewis Kelly does not have the tactical and physical discipline.
I think Arteta is going to play Zubimendi.
He needs to go back to Zubimendi. Zubimendi is the old wise head.
He's going to play Zubimendi in the final.
Because if Lewis Kelly is somebody, those guys will bait.
Zubimendi, I think he has got the experience.
They need him, and the intellect, and the technique and the intellect needed to play.
They need him more
against Vitinha.
I don't think Arteta will make that mistake. I think he's going to play.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, better not, because Lewis Kelly, they needed his legs in the title run-in.
Yeah,
but not for this final.
PSG is not Fulham.
Yeah, not for this final. And then there's the bit about Martin Odegaard, the captain. He's not been starting games because he fell out of favour at Arsenal. He's come back and been involved in some of the games, but this final. But
he's been impactful as a substitute, Mark.
Change
the game against West Ham.
Yeah. But I'd start him in this final.
I wouldn't start him, Mark.
I would start him.
I wouldn't start him.
So you're starting Eze ahead of him?
I wouldn't. It is more important, Mark, for Arsenal to maintain.
To
start well, maintain their shape in the final against PSG, than to be very, very overzealous.
I know, but you see, Eze has got the legs in the 10. And he's got technique, right foot and all. He's got a knack for goals. He comes into the box late and everything. Yeah. What I like about Odegaard, though, which most Arsenal fans no longer appreciate, especially because they want their attack to be pacey, and sometimes Odegaard lingers on the ball and is much slower than the rest of the attack. What I like about him is his intellect, his ability to think about game situations and how to involve others, and his ability to pick a pass.
And that's why you'll need him, because this game could go 90 minutes, could go on 20 minutes.
So you're saying you start the more energetic guys and bring him on.
Just like we saw against West Ham, Mark. I thought that was one of the best substitutions of the season, because that's a game where Arsenal could easily have won or lost the season, the EPL, and they came in and changed the game. You're going to need a very strong bench.
You see,
because PSG have got depth and strength on their bench.
They do.
Depth.
So
PSG have got depth in
there's that bit. Then there's a bit about. Of course, I think now Martinelli has lost out to Trossard at the end of the season on the left. Yeah. There's no competition on the right because Madueke, I think, is injured. Yeah. Madueke limped off against Charlton.
Saka will definitely start.
Not Charlton, rather Crystal Palace. I saw Madueke holding his hamstring. I don't know about his status. But Saka has had a good end to the season, while he had also fallen out of favour and also out of fitness. Yeah. He's finished the season well. But also, there's a dilemma on who between Kai Havertz and Gyökeres.
I would start Gyökeres, Mark, and right hand there. I know Havertz has won the Champions League for Arsenal, for Chelsea, scored in the final against Man City, and he has his weapons. But this is a game where the chances are going to be few and far between.
Yeah.
I expect PSG to dominate the ball. Between Havertz and Gyökeres, who do you fancy?
No, look, by the way, on this one I agree with you. I'd start Gyökeres because, like you said, they need to start on the front foot and take the lead.
Yeah.
All their chances are in taking the lead.
Taking the lead.
And what happens is that Kai Havertz is the man for the big occasion. Yes. He scores very many big goals. He has actually scored a Champions League winner for Chelsea before.
Yeah, against Man City.
Against Man City, that was 2012, 2022. 2021, yeah. And he's even Arsenal now. He's returned at the end of the season. He's not a fan's favorite, but he has got some big goals.
Some big goals. He scored the goal against Man City, which counted for nothing. Scored the win against Burnley.
The Burnley winner was very important because it was a funny game, funny odd game, and they won it only 1-0, and that was title running. It was huge. He can get that kind of goal, but he can do that coming off the bench. Gyökeres doesn't look good as a sub.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
But don't be surprised.
Okay,
And I end on that note, do not be surprised when Arteta actually starts Kai Havertz. And I actually believe he's going to, but I would rather start Gyökeres. Let's end on this note, Mark. For you out there, the last thing you should know is that Mark and I have staked $200 each. Mark is paying me $200 if Arsenal win the Champions League, and I pay $200 if PSG retain it. And we'll come back here, own up, we'll actually have the money physically for you to see. And we're out for now. Enjoy the final. Bye-bye.